Assalamoalykm everyone, this is Learning by Dear Knowledge. The question is, why study learning? Well, if we had not been able to learn, we would have died out as a species long ago. Learning is the process that allows us to adapt to the changing conditions of the world around us. We can alter our actions until we find the behavior that leads us to survival and rewards. And we can eliminate actions that have been unsuccessful in the past. Without learning, there would be no buildings, no agriculture, no life-saving medicines, and no human civilization. The definition of learning includes: learning refers to a relatively enduring change in the behavior or knowledge as a result of experience. The term learning is one of those concepts whose meaning is crystal clear until one has to put it in actual words. Learning is when you learn something, or learning is learning how to do something. A more useful definition is: learning is any relatively permanent change in behavior brought about by the experience or practice. In the chapter of learning, we will study classical conditioning. It was a Russian physiologist named Ivan Pavlov in 1849 to 1936 was the person to study and write about the basic principles of classical conditioning. He was also awarded as a Nobel Prize. The concept of classical conditioning was started from the salivation of dogs by ringing of bell, as food was provided after the ringing of bell. Classical conditioning, associating stimuli. Definition includes: the basic learning process that involves repeatedly pairing a neutral stimulus with a response-producing stimulus until the neutral stimulus elicits the same response. Another definition include: learning to make a reflex response to a stimulus other than the original natural stimulus that normally produces the reflex. Classical conditioning, the main points include: classical conditioning deals with the behavior that are elicited automatically by some stimulus. Classical conditioning often involves reflex behavior. Classical conditioning is a process of learning and association between two stimuli. Classical conditioning involves pairing a neutral stimulus with an unlearned natural stimulus that automatically elicits a reflexive response. From these points, we conclude that classical conditioning is involuntary and it is an association between two stimuli. What first annoyed and then intrigued Pavlov was that his dog began salivating when they weren't supposed to be salivating. Some dogs would start salivating when they saw the lab assistant bringing their food. Others when they heard the clatter of food ball from the kitchen. And still, when it was the time of the day, they were usually fed. Pavlov spent the rest of his career studying what eventually he termed classical conditioning, learning to make a reflex response to a stimulus other than the original natural stimulus that normally produces it. So Pavlov studied the salivary reflex, stimulus, which was food, and illicit response, which was salivation. Pavlov eventually identified several key elements that must be presented and expensed in a particular way for conditioning to take place. There are four elements of classical conditioning: unconditioned stimulus, unconditioned response, conditioned stimulus, conditioned response. Unconditioned stimulus. The definition includes: a naturally occurring stimulus that leads to an involuntary response. The original naturally occurring stimulus is called unconditioned stimulus. Abbreviation is UCS, unconditioned stimulus, or you can normally say US. The term unconditioned means unlearned or naturally occurring. This is a stimulus that ordinarily leads to the reflex involuntary response. In the case of Pavlov's dog, the food served is the unconditioned stimulus. Unconditioned response, the abbreviation is UCR or UR. definition include an involuntary response to a naturally occurring or unconditioned stimulus. The reflex response to the unconditioned stimulus is called the unconditioned response. For much the same reason, it is an unlearned and occurs because of genetic wiring in the nervous system. For example, in the Pavlov's experiment, the food given to the dog is the unconditioned stimulus and salivation is the unconditioned response. Conditioned stimulus, abbreviation is CS. Its definition include stimulus that becomes able to produce a learned reflex response by being paired with the original unconditioned stimulus. Pavlov determined that almost any kind of stimulus could become associated with the unconditioned stimulus if it is paired with the unconditioned stimulus often enough. In his original study, for example, the sight of the food dish itself became a stimulus for salivation before the food was given to the dogs. Every time they got food, to which they naturally salivated, they saw the dish. At this point, the dish was called a neutral stimulus because it had no effect on salivation. After being paired with the food so many times, the dish came to produce the same salivation response, although a somewhat weaker one, as did the food itself, when a previously neutral stimulus, through repeated pairing with the unconditioned stimulus, begins to cause the same kind of reflexive response. Learning has occurred. The neutral stimulus can now be called a conditioned stimulus. Well, unconditioned means unlearned, while conditioned means learned. Well, neutral stimulus is a stimulus that has no effect on the desired response. The last point of the elements of classical conditioning is conditioned response, CR. Its definition include learned reflex response to a conditioned stimulus. The response that is given to the CS is not usually quite as strong as the original unconditioned response, but it is essentially the same response. However, because it comes as a response to the conditioned stimulus, it is called the conditioned response or sometimes conditioned reflex. In the picture you can see number 1, before conditioning. The food is unconditioned stimulus and the response, salivation, is unconditioned response. Before conditioning, number 2, the bell is neutral stimulus, while there is no salivation, which means no conditioned response. In number 3, during conditioning, the bell plus food is equal to salivation, which means that neutral stimulus plus unconditioned stimulus is equal to conditioned stimulus, and which produces conditioned response. So when the neutral stimulus is paired with unconditioned stimulus, then it will produce some kind of conditioned response. But in number 3, there is unconditioned response. In number 4, after conditioning, the bell is serving as conditioned stimulus, and it is producing conditioned response, which is salivation. The formula is unconditioned stimulus US or UCS produces unconditioned response, UCR or CR. So UCA, US or UR. US produces UR. Unconditioned stimulus produces unconditioned response. In the next formula you can see unconditioned stimulus plus neutral stimulus is equal to unconditioned response, as well as it becomes unconditioned stimulus. So unconditioned stimulus when paired with a neutral stimulus produces unconditioned response, and when unconditioned stimulus is paired with a neutral stimulus, then that neutral stimulus becomes conditioned stimulus, and that conditioned stimulus produces a conditioned response. So this was all about classical conditioning and the elements of classical conditionings. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.